Hello, I'm Dr. Unruh, and for the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn about the freedom to move.
Dr. Unruh has been helping patients fight back and regain their health for more than 3 decades. Giving his patients back their freedom to move is Dr. Unruh's primary goal and responsibility. Dr. Unruh has treated patients for spinal injuries, tendinitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, and all sorts of pain. Unruh is certified in spinal trauma and rehabilitation from the University of Florida. He specializes in the active release technique for muscle and tendon injuries and the flexion distraction method for spinal disc injuries. Simply put, Dr. Unruh can give you back the freedom to live, freedom to work, and the freedom to move. Dr. Unruh was chosen as one of 20 doctors for the International Ironman race, the #1 endurance race in the world. He is the only chiropractor on the National Physicians Advisory Board. Dr. Unruh was recently awarded the National Miracle of the Year Award for one of his patients' amazing recoveries using all natural remedies and techniques. But even during the production of the video you're watching right now, Dr. Unruh kept repeating, "It's not about awards, it's about helping people." This genuine, heartfelt attitude is reflected not only in the work he does, but in the people who work alongside him at the Unruh Chiropractic Clinic. Restoring maximum health and giving people back the freedom to move is what Dr. Unruh does best. Visit draunruh.com or call 605-332-1962 and tell us what hurts. And now, the doctor who can bring the freedom to move back into your life, Dr. Unruh.
Today we're going to be talking about back pain. Back pain is the #1 reason people see doctors in America, other than the common cold. It is the second most common surgical procedure performed in America, other than heart surgery. It's the #1 cause of hospital admissions. It's the #1 workers' compensation injury. And it's the #1 cause of disability for people under the age of 45. It's a huge cost to our country. In fact, the indirect and direct costs combined are over $100 billion. So when you stop and think about the fact that 80 to 90% of Americans will suffer from chronic back pain sometime in their lifetime, it behooves you to learn what causes back pain and what you can do to prevent it. Over 300,000 people a year have back surgery, and it's estimated that up to 90% are unnecessary if people took care of their spine and treated it properly when it first came on. So today we're going to share with you important information on new research and new treatment methods that have been proven to be very effective in treatment of chronic back pain and acute back pain.
Back pain doesn't need to slow you down, or worse yet, put you completely out of the race. With Dr. Unruh, chronic back pain simply isn't an option. When all of those treatments, surgeries, medications, pills, and physical therapy simply don't work. If you don't want to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars going to the doctor's office or hospital, if you just want to feel better, call Dr. Unruh today. Stop treating the symptoms and start fixing the problem.
Well, check it out. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Yeah, 2 blocks south of the arena. Western and Burnside. Unruh Chiropractic Clinic. Yeah.
Why is it that people develop back pain? First of all, you need to understand that your spine has 24 different bones. And between each bone, there's a disc. And the disc basically has 2 functions. It allows for movement between your bones, and it acts like a shock absorber between the vertebrae. In fact, if your vertebra were solid bone, you could never move. When the disc degenerates, you lose the elasticity and the shock absorption effect in your spine. It can affect how the vertebrae curve and how they move and glide on top of each other. And that can result in swollen discs or prolapsed discs or herniated discs and mechanical malfunction of the spine. Most back problems starts as a mechanical problem. And we use the analogy if a bridge is breaking down, would you use a chemist to fix it or a mechanical engineer? Chiropractors are mechanical engineers. We stretch the spine, we loosen the spine, work on the muscles and the joints, we strengthen the spine, work on the body's ability to heal itself. And we're going to demonstrate to you today that the body has a tremendous healing ability if it gets the proper care. Research is showing that chiropractic care is the safest method of treatment of back pain there is. In fact, with the new methods of treatment that we perform using the distraction instrument, it's very gentle, it's very safe, it's effective. In fact, we only treat the patient within what's normally tolerable to the patient, what's comfortable to them. 95% of our patients say this treatment feels great. This is the first time I've had relief of symptoms in sometimes weeks and sometimes months.
Back pain can be caused by any number of sources: your muscles, tendons, ligaments, or even nerves. The muscles in your back are particularly prone to damage because of common activities. Every day you subject your back to twisting, lifting, compressing, pulling, and ultimately damaging the muscles. The damage can go much deeper than just on the outside. Muscles are composed of muscle fibers. These fibers are made up of myofibril. Deep inside the myofibril are myofilaments. All of these work together symbiotically, enabling you to move freely. When any of these muscular components are injured or damaged, you can feel pain. This is what normal muscle tissue looks like. Notice the parallel waves of tissue smoothly running from top to bottom. Over time, injuries can cause the fibers to rip apart, forming scar tissue. This decreases the elasticity of your ligaments, resulting in less flexibility and more pain. For this, Dr. Alan Unruh uses myofascial manipulation, which gently releases tissues from their separated state to one of unity again. This helps to heal your muscles and give you back the freedom to move.
One of our focuses at our clinic is to restore muscle function and tendon function and ligaments. The fibers have cross linkages, kind of like ski rope here, and the fibers glide between each other like my fingers when they contract. Well, injury can lead to scar tissue in the muscle. As the body heals from a trauma, it heals with what is known as the fibrosis of repair. If I take a match and I glue these fibers of the ski rope together, that's similar to what happens in the connective tissue of your body. And when those tissues get stiff and hard and rigid, that scar tissue not only glues the fibers, restricting motion, but it impairs circulation. It impairs the blood supply to the nerves. It makes the nerves hypersensitive. In fact, you can become up to 1,000 times more hypersensitive. So we have myofascial techniques that we get under the scar tissue and gently stretch out those scar tissues that are gluing the fibers together. We're stretching the vertebra apart. We're restoring muscle function. And as you restore function, we gradually give progressive resistance to strengthen those areas also. Why not restore that freedom to move, not only in your bones and joints, but in the muscles and all the connective tissue of your body? You'll find out the benefits to your health are endless.
The most damaging thing to the human body is impact force. Whiplash type of injuries can cause tons of force in 1/10 of a second. Whiplash can often tear muscles, ligaments, and discs and can lead to a lifetime of pain. Dr. Alan Unruh is certified in treating spinal trauma and using the Cox distraction technique, which has been one of the most effective techniques in treating whiplash injuries. Palmer College of Chiropractic recently awarded the National Miracle of the Year Award to Dr. Alan Unruh for his story starting with a man in a severe motorcycle accident. After several joint replacements, bone grafts, and multiple neck surgeries, after 28 years of restricted neck movement and no peripheral vision, after finally suffering enough, he came to Dr. Alan Unruh.
My name is Heather, and I work as a chiropractic assistant for Dr. Alan Unruh here at Unruh Chiropractic. And about a year ago, we had a patient that came in. He brought in a stack of charts that was a couple inches thick. He also brought in a list of prescription medication that went on and on. When I started the examination with the patient, I asked him to simply tilt his head to his shoulder as far as he can. He would just move his eyes off to the side.
Along with that, he had color bars, which were alongside of his head. He was unable to see a peripheral vision.
I asked the patient to also turn his head to the side as far as he could. Same thing happened. He would just move his eyes.
He was complaining of neck pain that was radiating down his arms to his hands.
So after my examination, I came out and visited with Dr. Unruh and told Doctor that this is going to be your biggest challenge ever.
After a few visits, then he started to notice a difference. And after 2 to 3 weeks, he noticed that the color bars were going away.
At about 4 weeks, he could all of a sudden move his head about 45 degrees each direction.
His pain is gone out of his hands. He has full range of motion in his neck. He's back to doing things around the house.
His wife came into our office and said, "Thank you for giving me my husband back. He's normal. He's in a much better mood. He's easier to live with now." And he just felt like a kid again.
At the Unruh Chiropractic Clinic, our techniques are gentle, safe, and painless. Dr. Alan Unruh uses a multitude of techniques to help your body repair itself, relieve your pain, and give you back the freedom to move. All it takes is a phone call or a visit to his website. You'll be set up with an initial consultation to talk about your condition and what kind of pain you're having. What do you have to lose? More importantly, what would you like to gain? Movement? Flexibility? Maybe just a full night's sleep? Dr. Alan Unruh is there to work for you.
The exciting thing is to live without pain, to sleep all night. You think about what a good night's sleep is worth. To think about something that wakes you up a dozen times a night and living on handfuls of pills for pain. No longer on any kind of medication. Now that's exciting. The question is, why is it, after all those years of every other kind of treatment, the patient continued to suffer? But with no injections, no drugs, no surgery, the body was able to heal itself. See, inside of you, the body has miraculous healing and recuperative powers. It just needs to be released.